and welcome to Campaign Chronicles on France 24, our regular countdown to the presidential election. There are now just 6 days to go. Our correspondents have been out on the campaign trail. And to give us the reaction in the French press and on the blogs as well is our media editor, Olivia Salazar-Winspear. She's here with us as well. Hello again, Olivia.
Hello.
First, though, the timing could not have been worse for Nicolas Sarkozy. Just 1 week before the final round of voting, the website Mediapart came to have compelling new evidence that Muammar Gaddafi helped fund Nicolas Sarkozy's presidential campaign back in 2007. Well, as you can imagine, Sarkozy has staunchly denied those allegations and is now threatening to sue.
This document, released by investigative website Mediapart, is at the heart of a scandal just days before the French elections. It has yet to be verified, but allegedly dates to December 2006 and is signed by former Libyan Chief of Intelligence Moussa Koussa. The memo approves up to €50 million in illegal contributions from the Libyan government for Nicolas Sarkozy's 2007 campaign. The French president refutes the allegations.
It's a false document. Mediapart is a city operation. Their boss is fooled every time. The document is a fake. We're going to file a complaint as soon as we can.
Management at the online publication calmly await any legal proceedings.
In that case, we will make it a trial of Mr. Sarkozy's Libyan secret, because contesting the authenticity of our document is not enough to sweep away all the facts, which give credibility to suspecting some illicit financing for Mr. Sarkozy from the Libyan dictatorship.
Moussa Koussa, who fled to Qatar, has said the memo is a fake, while its alleged recipient, Bassar Shala, Libya's former chief of staff who now resides in France, is said to have grave reservations about the document. But Sarkozy's rival, François Hollande, says the story should be a legal matter, the controversy serving to heighten tensions as election day looms.
All right then, Olivia, big story here in France, obviously. Mediapart behind a number of scoops, isn't it, in the past, and they say they will stand by that story.
Yeah, despite the fact that a number of people named in this letter and also, named in the whole case, they've denied any involvement, including Brice Hortefeux, the former Interior Minister. But Mediapart says they're confident of their sources and that they can prove it in a courtroom. Now, what's interesting is the fact that Nicolas Sarkozy is going so far as to take this to court, because most sitting presidents anyway, have just brushed off these kind of allegations.
Well, it's a pretty damning allegation, isn't it?
It's pretty bad, but generally, I mean, the done thing is don't take people to court. And not while you're in power anyway. And the Huffington Post has said that this is, Sarkozy has form on this. This is nothing new. He's the king of lawsuits here. They list some of the other times that he's threatened to take companies or people to court over things that he didn't agree with. Here, for example,
they did used to call him Sarko l'Américain, didn't they?
Exactly. And he was, he has a background in law. Ryanair used his image without asking permission. They found themselves
think it was very funny,
on the end of a lawsuit. And also in 2008, this is a smaller story, there was a tiny voodoo doll made of Nicolas Sarkozy. So if you really hated him, here it is. You could buy one and stick pins in him.
He didn't sue over that.
He did. He said, no, you can't make a voodoo doll out of me. I'm the president. So he sued over that. And he said he'll do this, he'll open the lawsuit before the campaign is over, which doesn't give him very long. It gives him till
just
Sunday.
6 days.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Sarkozy, other than fighting lawsuits, has also been in Avignon this Monday. On the eve of the major May Day rallies here in Paris, Sarkozy's been visiting a small town where the National Front had a strong showing in the first round, and analysts have put that support down to fears about rising crime. Luke Brown reports.
We're here in Châteaurenard in Provence in southern France, a picturesque little town where Nicolas Sarkozy has come to meet the voters. He's in the bar currently behind me. In the first round of the presidential vote, he came out on top, but he was only 18 votes ahead of Marine Le Pen from the far-right National Front party. Some of the voters we spoke to said that was in part a protest vote against the policies that Nicolas Sarkozy has been leading for the past 5 years. Here's his response.
Moi, je ne considère pas que
I do not consider that those who voted for the National Front should be left aside. On the contrary, I had to talk to them. I want to tell them that they had to vote in the second round. We need them. If they don't vote, they will be playing François Hollande's game.
With just 6 days to go until the crucial second round vote, Nicolas Sarkozy has spent the past hour meeting and greeting voters, pressing the flesh. It's something that traditionally he enjoys doing. He hasn't been doing much of it during this recent campaign. Now, it is a friendly crowd. The local MP is an ally, but it is also a good media opportunity. It's demonstration that he perhaps realises he's got some ground to make up on his socialist rival.
Luke Brown there reporting earlier. Well, meanwhile, the socialist leader François Hollande can count on tens of thousands of volunteers to campaign for him. For weeks, they've been going door to door using similar tactics to the supporters of Barack Obama back in 2008. And that did turn out pretty well, didn't it? Well, the priority are the poorer suburbs where some voters remain undecided over who they'll choose at the weekend. Clovis Casali has this report.
An hour away from Paris, the town of Meaux. Its mayor, Jean-François Copé, is head of the UMP ruling party, but in the first round of the presidential election, socialist François Hollande came first, ahead of Nicolas Sarkozy. In the poorer neighbourhoods of Meaux, left-wing supporters have been actively working to mobilise voters, with a strategy of door-to-door campaigning.
I'm 28, ambitious. Ask your candidates what they'll do for people like us who want a house and to do well in life.
Over the past weeks, 70,000 volunteers have been recruited to knock on some 3.5 million doors all across France.
Hello, ma'am. We're here for the presidential campaign.
Oh, I'm not interested in that.
You don't vote?
No.
They have the impression that nothing can be done for them. It's up to us to reach them and show that politics have an impact on their lives.
These volunteers know their task is of vital importance, with still a significant number of undecided voters, 25% according to latest polls.
We know that most of the campaigning is done by François Hollande himself, because when he's on television he can reach lots of people. But it's important to go and see people so they feel we're close to them, ready to listen and talk to them.
Shortly after the presidential ballot will come the parliamentary elections. Local candidates hope to capitalise on François Hollande's good results.
You can't disassociate the two elections. If François Hollande is elected president, but then the right wing wins the parliamentary ballot, then he won't be able to carry out his policies. So, of course, we need to get everyone to vote also in June.
Politicians already looking ahead, though the Socialist Party is focusing first on May the 6th. François Hollande's team believes their large-scale door-to-door campaign will prove effective, just like it did in the US for Barack Obama in 2008.
Now, Olivia, there's a thin line, isn't there, between confidence and cockiness, and some of François Hollande's supporters might have crossed that line.
Well, and François Hollande himself, actually, he's been accused quite a lot in the media of acting like the race is already run and he's already been elected president. Now, however, someone's been following suit, a journalist, like you say. Denis Jambard, a French journalist, here we can see France 3, he's a journalist for France 3, is betting on François Hollande. Now, what they did, the channel, the national broadcaster, they commissioned Denis Jambard to follow François Hollande on the campaign trail for a year because they were so convinced he's going to be France's next president and make a documentary about the candidate and the future president of France. So this is really a victory film, if you like, about François Hollande. France 3 is putting its money where its mouth is. They've got this documentary programmed for the 7th of May, a François Hollande special here, which, you know, if it's in the television
that must be making him a little bit nervous.
Well, I mean, they're going to look a little bit silly if he doesn't win. The funny thing is that this guy actually has sold or pre-sold the rights to this documentary to a lot of American channels, NBC, Fox, CBS, largely because these channels don't have a lot of archive footage of François Hollande because he's never really had a high-profile post. Yes, so they really want to familiarise their public with this guy who could be France's next president.
Just tell us very briefly what happened to Neil Kinnock in 1992.
Oh, yes. Well, the Telegraph has a cautionary tale for François Hollande saying, is he making the same mistake as Neil Kinnock? Because everyone saw Neil Kinnock as the winner in the 1992 election in the UK. In the end, John Major scooped it at the last minute. So they're saying, you know, he shouldn't count his chickens before they've hatched.
Look out, François Hollande, you don't want to be the next Neil Kinnock. All right, let's have a quick look at the numbers, the latest poll, shall we, Olivia? François Hollande is still ahead in the second round, due to take place in 6 days' time. 54% of voting intentions there. Nicolas Sarkozy has 46%, and that means Sarkozy is up 1 point since the last poll was carried out on Friday. All right, before we go, Olivia, tell us what viewers can find on the website if they want to follow the campaign more.
Well, if you go to our campaign page here, Election Buzz, you can follow all the latest stories on what the candidates are doing. You can also check the figures in real time.
There
so
we
we can
go.
checking right up until the last minute.
Complicated graphs there.
And you can weigh in on the debate as to whether France is doomed, whoever the next president is.
Oh, good.
Which is a cheerful one.
Nice, optimistic outlook there. All right, Olivia Salazar-Wishbin, many thanks indeed. We'll be back in a moment with more headlines. This is it, though, for Campaign Chronicles.